My name is Benjamin. I've been dealing with Sherman's disease in my adulthood, and I discovered it lately. I was told that Sherman's disease is a type of scoliosis that has a curve in the middle of my back. About 1 year plus. So far, I have received treatments for manual therapy and rehabilitation by the physiotherapists and sports scientists over here. In terms of manual therapy, my physiotherapist has guided me in how to mobilize my muscles and also to release the tight muscles that is on my back, which is progressing very well recently. And also the sports scientists over here developed a very good program such as core exercises, leg exercises, and typically the back exercises due to my condition. Because personally I have a goal to be able to lift more weights and to be an overall person that can perform whatever sports that I'm interested in. Anything can range from running, swimming, or probably into combat sports that requires huge mobility and physical sports performance, especially using the back.
So basically for Ben, what we have been doing is that to actually improve his mobility. So like as he mentioned, manual therapy, usually we will start with releasing the muscles and then also doing some joint mobilization to get the ribs and the spinal joint to kind of be slightly more, I would say, flexible in a way. Then when we are doing his exercises, it's actually easier for him to kind of activate the muscles and also to move the joints that are responsible for certain actions also. Then in that sense, he's able to perform better because if the muscle is too tight for him, he's not able to activate those muscles. So at the same time, during the treatments, I'm actually also giving him certain kind of feedback so that when we are doing the exercises, he's able to feel it and also he's able to actually do it better, especially during exercises. Sometimes he's not able to get what I actually want him to do, partly because the muscles are too tight or let's say the muscles are too weak. So sometimes we also use electrotherapy to kind of activate the muscles and at the same time to kind of relax the muscles. But most of the time I will spend on improving his joint mobility and his muscle flexibility itself.
Extremely delighted. Even though there are a bunch of people that are same age with me, I consider them as elites in this field because they are attentive towards so-called end-to-end service. They care and they take note of what is your condition. They also try to be personal and try to make us feel like home and having us a very good journey over here in receiving our treatments.
Like I mentioned, he actually has some issues with activating certain muscles. For example, if I ask him to just do the exercises in isolation just to activate the certain area, he's able to do it. But if I'm asking him to do it in combination, he finds it a bit difficult, partly because he doesn't know how to work every single part of his muscles together. That kind of actually prevents him from performing whatever exercises he wants to do well, like his pull-ups, partly because certain parts of his back muscles may be a bit tight, so whenever he's actually performing the pull-ups itself, it's not as easily done.
Definitely a huge improvement. I can see my spine is getting straighter, even though the hunch is still over there. But the mobility has increased significantly and it increased my sports performance, it increased my endurance. I felt overall I can perform better in my sports even though with those limitations. On the other hand, due to that restriction or the condition I have difficulties doing back exercises. Recently, due to the enhanced treatment in overall on my back, I'm able to perform pull-ups by smaller repetitions and I can see improvement progressing very well.
So definitely there are some improvements. Since Ben himself is actually very motivated, he actually wants to really be able to do the workouts that he actually is aiming for. So since his goal is actually to do a bit more advanced kind of workouts, he wants to do a good pull-up. So that actually kind of pushed him to do better. So in that sense that even though it's difficult for him to get certain exercises, he will try to do his best to feel it. He will try his best to actually do what I actually instruct him.
Overall, I would say it increased one's confidence in sort of another way, because when I was having a very serious Schumann's disease, I was not able to sit as straight as now. So previously I was sitting like this, and you can see it's actually a horrendous posture for an individual. But after getting treated, I'm able to sit straight like this as a confident individual.
Sometimes he finds that even though it's difficult to do certain kind of exercises that we actually instruct him to do, he will still try his best and actually continuously practice it at home, and also continuously do it at home until he can actually perfect it. If I would say that physically wise, his body deformities, like what he mentioned is that he actually has a curve on his middle back. So that itself, we have seen quite a lot of improvements since the very beginning that he was here. Definitely mobility wise, he has improved quite a lot, even though sometimes if he doesn't move around as much as since he's busy working, that kind of reduce the effectiveness of whatever exercises that he has been doing at home. But definitely when I'm performing certain treatment techniques on him, it's actually much easier now. So his muscles are also not so tight anymore, and there are not so much tight muscle to actually release now. So that's why a lot of times we are also focusing a lot more rehab on him until he's able to actually reach his goals and objectives.
In my opinion, we should actually embrace and live with it. As per the current situation, we are dealing with huge difficulties in our lives, and there's nothing much we can do unless we play our role and we adapt it accordingly. For my case, I know for sure that I could not perform any sports that has a huge performance expected from me due to my condition. Still, after getting treated, I will perform my best and see how far can the limit goes according to my body. So here I would like to suggest and encourage people having any physical disabilities or having any spine issues. Do not afraid to seek treatments. Always go for second opinions, because I know that people are panicked or having such anxieties that they could not accept such deformity in their bodies. Hence, always seek multiple opinions and think thoroughly before you do any decision, because whatever you do next, it may affect what comes next in your life.